A long overdue video on this one. I've had this one in inventory for a very long time. This is the Cold Steel Recon 1 4-inch model. Let's go ahead and take a look. Like I said, 4-inch blade with a clip point on it, so this is going to be great for stabbing. It's got an excellent point on it. Hollow ground blade. One of the things that kind of bugs me about this, it's certainly not a deal breaker, is you can see the plunge line right here and you can see our choil. But what they don't do is they're not taking advantage of this. You've got your edge, but your edge terminates before it gets to that choil. That's something I'd like to see fixed in the factory production of these, and maybe they've done it. This is an older model, but this one I'm going to have to do it myself. Has that DLC coating on it. That's kind of how I feel about the coating. You can see that it wears pretty readily, and you can see right here you do get a pretty good sheen off a black coating. What a lot of people do, which I probably will be doing down the road here, is strip that off. And actually what's underneath, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, kind of. There's actually a beautifully stone washed blade underneath that DL coating. So should you choose not to put your own coating back on it, it's really a good looking blade underneath there. You can see the thumb studs on this one, just a round thumb stud, got some grooves on it, great for deployment. That is not one thumb stud, it's actually two that unscrew, so you can take that and flip it over to the other side if you want that on the left hand side. But there's plenty of room to get in there. They work just great to open the blade. This particular model is an older model, and it's got the AUS 8A blade steel on it, and I like that steel. It's a good steel, it's a good reasonable steel. But the one thing that many people have asked is say, hey look, I really dig this blade, but I want it in a better steel. You know, it's nice when companies listen, and guess what? Cold Steel did. So the newer versions of this, it comes with a steel CTS XHP. Now unfortunately I don't have a new one on hand, and I haven't had any experience with that steel yet, so I can't talk to it. But it's supposed to be a better steel than the AUS 8A, and subsequently you'll be paying a little bit more for it as well. So this does come in a 2-inch and 3-inch blade, so if the 4-inch isn't what you want something a little bit shorter, you do have options there. Also an extra large coming in at 5.5 inches should you go down that route and want something with a little more extra reach. While this is a clip point version of this blade, it also comes in a Tonto style version, so if that's something you're interested in, you do have those options as well. Now going down to the handle scales, well actually before that, let's go to deployment. Deployment on this knife is good. I would say it's acceptable. It's not something that I would say is the best deployment in the world. That said, I have absolutely no qualms or problems with it at all. It deploys well. Not the smoothest in the world, but again, this is just a hard working knife. It does what it's supposed to do. The handle scales on it are G10, and guess what? These things are right up my alley. And here's why. Well, while we're looking at it, this red piece is something that I did on this backspacer. I got bored one night and had some red paint laying around and put it in. So that's just me. But these G10 scales are really aggressive. To me, this is how G10 should be done. However, a lot of people don't like the overly aggressive scales because, well, one, they're overly aggressive, and these will be a little bit harder on your pockets than, say, something smoother. But this, for me, is perfect. Now, if it's too aggressive for you when you first get it, understand this, is that these they'll smooth out a little bit just of normal everyday use, and if you want to, you can take some fine grit sandpaper and you can knock some of that down to more your liking. For me, this blade feels really comfortable in hand. It does have some jimping up top here, or some grooves that are cut into the G10 handle scales. They work, they're there. You can tell they're there. They don't bite in like some other jimping that I've experienced in the past, but they're there. One thing you do have is a little bit of ramp going on there, so it holds well there, but really what locks this into place is going to be this finger groove and this finger groove. on the knife. Now, some people don't like that because, well, one, it's kind of telling you have to put your fingers here, and that may not be optimal for them. With me, I have about medium-sized hands. I think it feels really good in hand. I like where my fingers go, and it's really quite comfortable. And this blade, as it should, given what it's designed for, tactical use, is it really locks it into hand. You still see you've got plenty of room on the other end hanging out. So it's a nice size blade, nice size handle for this blade. Balance, let's check the balance out. Balance is going to be right about where that front finger groove is. See that right there. One other aspect I like about these with that ergonomic piece of it is you can see how this has been milled out or drilled out a little bit here on the finger grooves on each side. So that again just creates a nice transition. Either you're coming from this direction, and also if you're wrapping it around, it doesn't create sharp angles. So I really like that. The pocket clip on it, this is tip up carry only. It is right or left handed. It does come with two different pocket clips. I mean, they're exactly the same, they're just designed to go on either side. Overall weight of this blade is coming in at 5.3 ounces. Now, this is a tactical knife. However, I have no issues with EDC in this thing. I don't mind big knives. 5.3 ounces is not a lot of weight to me, especially when you're talking EDC. Am I going backpacking again? Yeah, I'll probably bring something else, but on an EDC purpose, I have no qualms with it. And I find that it carries extremely well in the pocket. It really buries down in there relatively deep. You do have a little bit poking out there, but another thing about this is it's deceivingly small when it's in the pocket, because this pocket clip is kind of small in comparison to a lot of other smaller knives, their pocket clips. So when you're carrying this around, it doesn't look it doesn't stand out as much, or it doesn't make it look like you have this big old blade in there. Now, this is a what some might call a scary looking knife. Of course, it's black. We all know that black knives or black guns are more scary than others for whatever made up reason. And of course, it's got that clip point. So maybe not a crowd friendly knife. Maybe you care, maybe you don't. But something to think about. Maybe you're around the office and you don't want to be noticed and have HR come talk to you. I don't know. Then again, maybe you don't care. Now, we can't talk about Cold Steel without talking about the Triad lock. Their system and how they design it and lock these knives up, it's very well known, if you spend any amount of time in the knife world, that these are extremely strong lockup knives. It's got it on the spine lock right here, but these things, man, they are just really good workhorse type of knives. Very strong, very well proven. You can see it in the many videos that Cold Steel has done. You can see it in the many videos that just normal people like me, like you, have put on YouTube and tested out. This really is a great knife. When I'm carrying it, I am just not afraid to use it. It's one of those knives that's just begging to be used, and it says, look, I don't care how you use me, just use me. It's one of those type of knives. So I really like this one. I'd recommend it. The Cold Steel Recon 1, an excellent knife that's going to hold up to pretty much whatever you throw at it. Go ahead and take a look at this one, guys, if you haven't already. Such a great knife. Thanks for watching. See you.